Hey, it's TDA, and today it's time for some more Mindustry. The previous level was really easy, and I think that's to compensate for the next one, because apparently this is a high threat sector once again. Large enemy presence detected in the sector, build units quickly and capture enemy cores to gain a foothold. So that sounds like it's going to be a challenge. Well, I'll guess we are going to find out soon enough. We are landing again. Let's give this a moment to pop off, and then we're going to pause. There we go. And let's see what we have to work with. Well, the answer is not much. We have some beryllium production over here, and we can set up a little bit more. And we do have a little bit of basic graphite, but that's all there is. Now, what I find somewhat annoying about these levels is that I have no idea where the enemy is coming from. So I'm actually going to use a little bit of a trick. I'm not sure if it counts as cheating. No, it's not cheating. It's just clever use of game mechanics. Let's go with that. So with the help of some radar, I just explored the entire corridor over here, and as you can see, there is not really any resources here. There are two bases by the looks of it, and I also have the first enemies incoming, which is probably a reason to restart the level, because building just some radars is not the best way to start off your defense. I'm also a little bit confused by the fact that there seems to be something down here. When I start to build something, you can see this circle. I am just not entirely sure what that means. Is that the range of towers? Do we have that over here as well? No, it doesn't seem like it. So yeah, let me know in the comments. What does this purple circle actually mean? I have no idea. I don't think the game ever told me. But anyway, let's just quickly reboot the level so we can actually fend off these tanks next time they come. Okay, so I've done the math, and I think we have enough resource production over here to have a tank fabricator and a ship fabricator, so making those two base units first, and have them both non-stop producing. Now, I need some tungsten for both the mechs and the upgraded tanks, and I don't have any of that, so I'm guessing I'll have to go and conquer that for my enemies. Okay, so we have the first tanks in production. Already a little bit low on power, but we do have some more power vents over there that we can safeguard with our tanks, hopefully. Let's also start working now on a ship fabricator. Might as well get those going as well. The resources I need for that are the silicon as well as the graphite, so placing that over here should make for a decently looking facility. I am going to try and see if I can make my facilities look a little bit better from this point forward. It's a little bit hard to keep everything organized, honestly, with the limited tools available. Is this what I want to do? This is prioritizing that. No, that is not what I want to do. I actually want to do it like this, with a normal split, so half of the stuff is going to go towards my silicon and the other half is going towards my ship fabricator. Now, I have my first bot already good to go. Actually, let's select both of those. Needs to be finished first. There we go. A little bit of patience, TDA. There we go. And then, yeah. Let's see where that other vent is. Maybe we can get some more power going. There is another vent over there. So if I hook that up, then hopefully, let's pause a moment. Because that first unit came in really quick, honestly. I was a little bit surprised by that. I mean, I know the game said, like, build units quickly. But I wasn't expecting it to be that quick. Is that up and running? Yep, it is. And that means we should now have almost full power. That is nice. So I am going to make sure my units are rallying over there. Is there some more power here that we can steal? I honestly don't remember. I think we're getting pretty close to the enemy base already, so I don't want to get too close. I mean, that's not going to end very well if I only have two tanks. But yeah. We can use this as kind of a choke point over here. Maybe actually, speaking of choke points, I can build myself some walls to actually make a choke point. I do want to leave somewhat of a open space though, because I've noticed in the previous levels that if you build something too close, your own units actually start struggling getting through there. So that is not necessarily what we want. If I park them right in front of the entrance, then they should kind of body block the enemies coming through. And there we go. There's the first units coming in, but I have plenty of units now, I think, to defend. I do need to kind of follow them around by the looks of it, because they are just running away from me. They do take a lot of damage, honestly. I'm a little bit surprised by that. But yeah, hopefully it won't be too hard to hold them off. And now I do have a little bit of silicon, as well as other materials to work with. I think I can also just build a couple of turrets now. And as people in the comments have been correctly pointing out to me, I wasn't really utilizing much of my water that came from the turbines over here. So I decided to hook up all my turbines to a nice little water pipeline that goes all the way to the front line into my bottleneck over here, while I'm actually using it to boost my breaches. Okay, this might just be my paranoia, but I still have a feeling the map is going to open up once I defeat the other two bases, and I'm going to have to deal with enemies coming from below. So I'm just going to build a whole lot of walls here, at least to buy myself some time in case that actually does happen. And as the small waves of a couple of units keep coming in, I have a pretty sizable army built over here, so I'm just going to take it to the other side of the map slowly. Let's make sure the other tanks are able to keep up. And see if I can take out the enemy base with just these tanks. They should be over here somewhere. Let's go in from the back. There we go. Let's pew pew them. Yay. Oh, okay, that was no problem whatsoever. What's this? Oh, this is actually... Is this a miner? Oh, seems to be. There's a drill over here. I actually want to destroy the main base. There we go. And that should be no problem at all. Well, I guess we found the tungsten, but before I go and settle here, I am going to go all the way to this base over here, take out a couple of these units, and then I am going to take down... Whoa, whoa, whoa. What is this big laser thing? It is ripping apart my units. Ow, ow, ow. Okay then. So maybe I got a little bit ahead of myself there, but I'm just going to set up a bastion over here. I do have the resource for that. Make sure I get some tungsten production, and then I can not only double my army, I can actually also build all those advanced units that we had in the previous levels as well. So that's like, I don't know, quadrupling the size of my army or something like that. So that's definitely going to be enough, at least I hope so, to take out this nasty turret over here. Well, first things first, I just put in a mech fabricator, because once again, you only need a little bit of tungsten to build this building, but then you don't need any tungsten to start building the actual artillery. So that's now being produced, and now it's time to move on to the actual second base. Okay, so this base has a little bit of everything, just a little bit of beryllium, some tungsten, well, a lot of tungsten actually, and then some a small amount of graphite. So what I'm thinking is maybe I just built the tier 2 tanks over here, and then I can, at some point, once I make sure this area is safe, I can hook these two bases up together, and then kind of combine the throughput maybe in some way. But for now, let's just focus on building tier 2 tanks. And there we go. And I actually think it was a good call to just build these tanks over here, because I'm really struggling on power. So this building is producing the normal tanks. It's putting into the second building that's making the tanks upgraded. It's a little bit of a weird system, but it's okay. I am using my part of my water, at least, to turn that into ozone and hydrogen, because I need the hydrogen to make my second tier tanks. And I have a couple of those now, as you can see. That is a pretty decent army, so I think we should be able to take out a couple of turrets now. Then again, what do I know? Because that's what I thought last time. But let's make sure we take out this turret first. We should be able to just burst through the wall. Yeah, there we go. With all this firepower, there is really no issue. And let's see what else is over here. Oh, they are... Oh, they actually had some warpers over there. That's interesting. We didn't expect that. Not much defense here to speak of, just a couple of tanks. This is a very large base, honestly. Is this like the main base? I was expecting this to be a tiny little base in the corner of the map, but yeah, apparently not. Nuclear strike inbound. Construct backup cores immediately. Okay, hold on. Let's pause. We have a nuclear launch detected in 5 minutes. What? Okay. Yes, so that base is toast. And nothing else? Okay, so we actually still have this base then. And this base doesn't really have anything viable other than, of course, the construction that we are doing here for our bots. But if we can just basically take over this base over here, and then we should have everything we need, I think, over here to kind of replicate our main base. And then we're good to go, right? I don't know, something like this maybe. I have once again the problem that I don't have enough power to do everything I want to do in this base, nor do I have the resources to do everything here. So while my second base, or at least the second base I built, is just producing the large tanks, let me pause for a minute because we're 3 minutes away from a nuclear disaster. This base is going to be producing the base tanks as well as the mechs. I am skipping on the, I forgot what they're called, the ships. What are they called? Eludes? Mostly because they need quite a heavy investment of graphite, which I simply don't have a lot of in this base. I only have these nodes over here and then one node over here. So that is barely enough to make silicon, let alone have additional graphite for the ships. So I think it makes sense to have this production over here. Now what I really do want to do is take my giant army that I have over here and see if I can also take out this base over here in the corner. I'm not entirely sure if there's actually resources here. They seem to be producing some liquid over here. I'm not entirely sure what they're doing with that. But at the very least, I can just steal the power that is coming from this base and take it for my own. So while this base over here isn't particularly useful in terms of resources, it did give me quite a bit of power. So now I've connected up all my power grids. Well, actually, I should probably connect up this one as well. But yeah, now I have all the tanks back in production with the exception of the eludes, and I have a pretty sizable army. So whatever happens in 1 minute from now, I think we're ready and good to go. I've built some more walls, but I don't really have the resources nor the time to build any turrets. So let's hope that this giant army here in the middle is going to be able to deal with whatever this nuclear attack is actually going to do. Will my Marui make it out? Probably not. Hope! Well, that was my base then. Can I just go in and rebuild it? Well, my army is not getting any bigger than it is right now because I just lost another core. So, yeah, we can just move in here, I suppose. And I just want to say, I told you so. Look at that base over there. Okay, let's unpause. Strangely enough, my turrets are still there, so that's interesting. If I just move over here, okay, so hold on. If I move over here and I pause, can I just press B and start rebuilding everything? Looks like it. Well, I mean, that is kind of cool, honestly. And that would be very convenient if I can do that with the enemy right there. If I just park my entire army over here, can I just get my base back? That's worth a try. Oh, well, it turns out the answer is yes, because I just did exactly that. Just rebuilt the entire base from scratch. Well, not from scratch, I could just replicate what I had already built. And that's something I want to stress. In this game, if your factory gets destroyed, it's super easy to rebuild it. And that's something that is quite vital for those of you that, of course, don't like your factories getting destroyed. In this game, it will happen every now and then, but as you can see, it's no problem whatsoever. It's a little easier, actually, than I thought it would be. But hey, I'll take it, because once again, I have a pretty huge army. And now I'm actually producing twice as much as I normally would have. And yeah, I guess. Whoa! That's units. That's flying airships. Where are you going? Where are you going? Okay, that's really annoying. I was about to say I'm going to go attack them, but that won't work if actually my own walls are in my way. Hold on. Okay, maybe moving out my entire army to deal with those few ships was a little bit too much, but I am going to retaliate. I am just going to bring that entire army I just built and bring it all the way down now. Oh look, it's one of those nasty turrets again, but again, this shouldn't be too much of a issue considering I just destroyed a very similar turret setup just before, and making sure that there's no more of these turrets right on my doorstep is probably a good thing to do. Now, there's going to be 4 enemy cores, and this is just the first one that I just found, so yeah, I'm wondering how many more. Well, there's 3 more, obviously, but where we will be able to find them. Okay, so there seem to be 2 bases down here. Not sure if this is 1 base or 2, but it looks like it's 2. And this is pretty heavily defended, as you can see, with a lot of walls. There are quite a few resources up here, actually. And there's another base over here. This one doesn't seem to be quite as heavily fortified. So I guess I am just going to see if I can take this one out. I mean, I can at least take out this little mining unit over here. Oh, look, they have tier 2 tanks as well. Well, that's concerning. If I can at least take out some of these little outposts, then whatever ground is not owned by my enemies is something I can claim for myself. It seems I found another little base hidden here in the corner, so that's 1 more core down, but at the same time I'm actually under attack myself. Let me see where the tanks are. So these tanks seem to be intent on getting themselves killed on my turrets, that's fine by me. In the meanwhile, they do destroy some of my base. Luckily, I did have some defenses back here as well, so I'm just going to take out these little robots one by one, rebuild this little corner of my base, and then having taken out already 2 of the 4 additional cores, I think we're on a pretty good schedule to finish this level. Huh, would you look at that, there's another base hiding in the corner over here that I didn't expect. So then the other base, the first one that I showed you, the one on the bottom, is apparently a full base. However, again, all of this is not putting up much resistance, which is kind of a shame, because I do think I actually have another tier tank unlocked that I have no reason of building, because as you can see, I am just walking over everything with the giant army I built before. Well, I have to say this was a very impressive and very large base, but yeah, other than some turrets that they gave me some trouble near the end, all in all, this is going to go down pretty quickly. I am wondering now, however, where the last core is, because I seem to be missing something over here. Oh, actually, we still have this left over here, so there might actually still be a second base over here, or is it all of this connected? There is so much stuff here. I mean, it's very satisfying to just blow everything up, but it's taking me quite a while to actually get rid of this base. Well, I took down the last little bit over here as well, and now I'm really starting to wonder, where is that last core? Did I just miss it here somewhere? I mean, it's not in this thing over here, although we do need to take that out. I took down this core. There is nothing down here, I believe. Maybe it's hiding here in the corner. That must be it. There we go. I just walked right past the core that is hiding here in the back. And that should take care of the last one. Now, there's actually a ton of resources in this base that I can now take advantage of. And yeah, we did capture the zone, so this is everything there is. Now, I have to admit, this feels a little bit weird, because I didn't unlock any new technology in this level, I think. But yeah, if you look over here, we have a mech refabricator, which allows me to upgrade, I think, the crawlers that we had. We've seen some of the enemies upgraded crawlers, and they look pretty nice to have. So I definitely want to pick them up. And what else do we have over here? We have the slag incinerator. Incinerates non-volatile items or liquids. Not entirely sure what I would do with that, but we have it unlocked. We also have a reinforced pump. Pumps and outputs the liquids. Requires hydrogen, so we can start pumping stuff. And we used none of that in this level whatsoever. Is there anything else we needed to unlock? Nope. Okay, just because I could, and I figured you might want to see it, these are the larger tier 2 crawlers. They are quite a bit bigger than the other ones. I have... Oh, they can actually stand on top of each other. That's interesting. But look at that. That is pretty awesome and actually pretty intimidating. These things are going to come into use very much in the next couple of episodes, I believe. Because, well, look at that. Look at their size. This is a tier 2 tank. And this is a tier 2 crawler. They're getting bigger and bigger, and I like it. I also tried building some pumps and connecting them up to the liquid that I have on the floor, the archaesite, I'm not entirely sure how you pronounce that, that apparently needs some hydrogen to fuel the pump, and then stuff comes out. So yeah, I just don't know what to do with that, because it didn't actually unlock anything new. If we go to the technology tree over here, you can see I did unlock the archaesite. But as far as I can tell, there is no new buildings in my technology tree, so I guess we're going to have to find that out in the next episode. Look at my army of doom marching around the map now. Either way, if you're still here, you're awesome, and I definitely hope to catch you in the next one.